This is your first week in Japan. You don't know what to do. Watch this video. Let's go. Hi everyone, I'm Shripriya, just your regular brown girl in Japan. So in this video, I'm going to talk about 4 documents that you absolutely need when you come to Japan and how you can get them. I'm going to share the entire process of what each document is, how do you get it, how much time it takes, and so on. Okay, the very first document, this is the most important document that you can have in Japan and that you need to have if you're coming to Japan for longer than 6 months. This is called a residence card. So every time you go out, you actually don't need your passport with a visa on it. You need a residence card. What does a residence card have? It has your name, your date of birth, all your personal information, along with the address where you're currently living in. So for me, when I came to Japan, I already had a dorm room in my university, Tokyo University. So that is the address I gave. The very first time you come to Japan, you can get this residence card at the immigration while you're checking out and you're finally entering into Japan. If you don't get it into immigration, then you can get it in your ward office. Now, ward office is different for everybody. It depends on your address. Then you can find the ward office nearby, apply for a residence card. But usually, if it's the first time, you will get it at immigration. One tip that I would really suggest for everyone who's coming, as a student, if you want to work part-time, then instead of taking the permission later on, you can do it at immigration. There's a part-time form that you need to fill before landing in Japan. You can submit it at the immigration, tell them that you need a part-time permit, and you can get about 28 hours per week permit. You can use it to get internships later on. I think it's extremely helpful and it would save you another visit to the ward office later on. The second thing is if you're extending your stay in Japan. So for me, my master's program was 2.5 years, 6 months as a research student, then you give an entrance exam and then a master's. Then the master program start. For me, it was 2.5 years and you do not get a visa for 2.5 years. The maximum visa that you get when you enter in Japan, it's about 2 years. I had to apply for an extension of stay. So for that, you need to go to an immigration center in your city and then you get a new residence card with your updated address and extension of stay. So whenever you change your visa or you extend your stay, you actually don't need to go to the embassy. You go to the immigration center within your city, take your residence card, take your passport with you, and then you get a new residence card. So that is why residence card is the most important document. It is an identification document that literally everybody will ask you whenever you register for a thing. So this is the document that you need to have when you first enter in Japan. Let's talk about the second document that you need. The second document is a health insurance or hokensho. It's called hokensho in Japanese. What hokensho is a national health insurance service. Everybody who is a resident in Japan needs to enroll for the National Health Insurance Service. Why? Because Japanese has a centralized healthcare system. So no matter where you go, they will ask you for a National Health Insurance card or hokensho. It has a great benefit, which is that 70% of the cost is waived off. It is paid by the government and you only need to pay 30% if you have the hokensho. But if you don't, then you need to pay 100% of the bill, which can be extremely costly. So when you come to Japan in the first week, you're advised to go to the ward office. Go there, tell them that you need to register for a health insurance system. They usually ask you to fill some forms, and then if you are a student, you tell them that you have no source of income. So the health insurance premium is based on your income. If you are a student, then you only pay about 2,000 yen or less than that. You need to tell them that you are on a scholarship or you came through your parents, but you don't actually have an income in Japan. So they enroll you for the cheapest plan possible. If you are a company employee, then the company will take care of that for you, and an amount based on your salary is deducted from your salary every single month, and that is paid towards the national health insurance system. The third thing that you need to do when you come to Japan is enroll in a pension system. So if you're a student, you can actually apply for an exemption. Everybody is required to enroll for pension, but it is again dependent on the income. So if you have no income, you can ask them for an exemption. After you apply that at the ward office, probably within a month you will get a document of whether it was accepted or not, and then you have to keep renewing it every year. So every year the ward office will send a notification letter to your register address, the address that is on your residence card, remember. So they will send a document of like how much they're going to ask you for pension, or if you're eligible for pension exemption, some document like that in Japanese, and then you need to go to the ward office or maybe fill that form and send it to the ward office asking for an exemption and justifying that you have no income. If you're an employee or a part-time employee and you do have some income, then you need to pay for the pension. Usually the company will take care of that for you. For me also, as an intern, my company takes care of the pension system. An amount which is decided on my salary is deducted when my salary is credited to my account. So that is how it works. One important thing is, if you do not plan to live in Japan for long term and if you have paid for pension, you can get it back. When you leave Japan permanently, you can go to the ward office, tell them you're moving out and you would like your pension money back. They can either give it to you in cash or probably send it to your home country account, and I think it's very important to know that you can get your money back, and you should get your money back when you leave Japan, because that is a lot of money accumulated over the years. So be sure to check that out. The last document that is somewhat an optional document but has become a really important document in Japan is the My Number card. So the government of Japan is trying to digitalize everything, and My Number document is a very important document that you need to have. The government of Japan also plans to replace your Hokensho, the health insurance card, with a My Number card. You can apply for My Number card also at the ward office. It takes about 1 month. So for Hokensho, pension, residence card, you get it within a week, and for residence card you get it on the same day. When it comes to My Number card, the waiting time is quite long. It could take up to 1 to 2 months to actually get your notification after you apply for the My Number card. So for me also it took a month. And what are the benefits of having a My Number card? My Number card digitalizes a lot of things. So there are some documents that you maybe need to issue from the ward office. So for instance, if you need a residence certificate or a tax document or things like that, you need to go to a ward office. But if you have a My Number card, you can actually use any machine in any convenience store nearby and you can get it printed directly. So you don't have to go to a ward office that usually opens from 9 to 5. You can print it anytime, anywhere, and I think that's really convenient. Also, the second thing is My Number card keeps a track of your health history. So whenever you go to a clinic or something, you take your My Number card with you. There is a machine and then you put it there. It records all of your history of all the clinics that you have visited and whatever health history you have. So it's extremely important, and I recommend you get it. The early you apply, the better, because again, the waiting time is too long. Lastly, I want to talk about whenever you get a new address in Japan, there are a lot of things you need to do. So whenever, for instance, you change your address from moving to a dorm room to moving to a new apartment, there are 5 or 6 things that you need to change. First of all, you need to get it changed on your residence card. Residence card has a address on top and then there's like a table. So every time you change your address, you need to go to the ward office, tell them that you have changed your address, and then you will get it printed on your residence card on the same day. The second thing is you also need to update it on My Number card. It can be done on the same day when you visit to the ward office. Usually the My Number section and the residence card section is like very close and very nearby, so you don't have to worry about that. The third thing that you need to do whenever you get a new address is to inform your company and your university if you're a student, because they have some documents that needs to be changed. The fourth thing that you need to do is to change it in the bank. They usually send documents to your registered house, and for that you need to change it at the bank and change it at the post office so that all of your posts can be redirected to your new address, and it can be done digitally. So for me, I use JP Bank, Yucho Ginko, and they have an app with the same name, Yucho Ginko app, where you can ask for a change in address, and it usually takes maybe 2 or 3 business days to get updated. So yeah, that you need to do. And the last thing that you need to do when you get a new address or change your address is to inform your credit card company if you do plan to get a credit card in Japan, because then they will be sending you credit card bills or some offers at your registered address, and it's always a good idea to inform them about it. So that's all. These are all the things that you need to do when you come to Japan for the very first time. And I hope this video was useful. If it was, then please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next week. Okay, bye.